Brothers, as you know, we have set a vision to be the preeminent character leadership development organization benefiting our members throughout life. That is so much easier said than done. A few years ago, Sigma Chi Fraternity and Foundation agreed that the right vehicle for execution of this vision was the Sigma Chi Leadership Institute. Since that time, we've invested millions of dollars in getting the SCLI off and running, and they are not disappointing. We have set our sights on the most audacious and ambitious goal in the history of the fraternal world. In short, we seek to completely evolve what it means to be a fraternity and to be a member of a fraternity. SCLI's target: become an accredited provider of education in the field of leadership and character development. Here to tell you more about the journey is Executive Director of the Sigma Chi Leadership Institute, Jim Cogdell.
Thank you, Grand Proconsul Sanderson, and thank you everybody involved with putting this virtual Grand Chapter or Grand Council together and spending time with us today on a Saturday. Now, today, brothers and teammates, you've heard many of our members speak about the challenges we've faced as a fraternity during the pandemic. And within Sigma Chi Leadership Institute, we've been inspired by those around us in the fraternity to support our team to pivot in these trying times because, several years ago, our members really kind of charged us to expect more. So we couldn't begin today without thanking all of those members who played an integral role over the last year to make our initiatives and goals a reality while also meeting the needs of our chapters within these unprecedented times. One slide, if you could go to the next one. One slide cannot simply thank all those who had a hand in our progress. But today we have to start with our worthy chairman of the SCLI board, Michael Greenberg, and our board of directors. Unfortunately, Mike couldn't be here with us today, but his vision, the board's drive, and our SCLI staff have created an empowering environment that not even a pandemic could quiet. And so many other stakeholders that have been involved, from Grand Consul Schuyler, Grand Proconsul Sanderson, Fraternity Executive Director Mike Church, and all of our teammates across all of the different organizations, RMF, Sigma Chi Foundation, Chi, all of them have had a hand in getting us either through human resources or through generous funding to help us through these difficult times. We've been in constant partnership with our advisors and volunteers, including the Grand Prators and chapter advisors, to make sure that our members are provided the best leadership resources and skills training as we move forward and inevitably through this pandemic. If you could go to the next slide. On May 26, 2020, we received news that was 5.5 months early. The Illinois Board of Higher Education announced that Sigma Chi Leadership Institute has reached a goal and an accomplishment that we have been waiting for, that we've been building for more than 2 years. We received news that we were a state licensed institution within the private business and vocational sector of the Illinois Board of Higher Education. And beginning on that day, everything that we created in terms of curriculum and education, everything that we offered, our members and our brother would be authorized, certified, and transferable as third-party validated leadership education. And this is a goal. This is a moment that no other Greek organization can relish in but ours. And we became the first Greek letter or Greek affiliated organization to be able to offer this certified leadership education to our members. And we're not done, right? We're continuing to build on. We expect more, you expect more, and I think there's going to be more good news to come. Go to the next slide. Meanwhile, parallel to building the state licensing and state authorization from the Illinois Board of Higher Education, we were also challenged across the entire organization to pivot and be able to take our traditional educational forum and move it onto a virtual online sector. And really, some of our early programs that we put together, particularly for resiliency during COVID-19, we built a Strong Arms program that we put on the website in case people were feeling overwhelmed by stress. In March, because of all of the pledges who were still going through preparation for brotherhood, we made virtual P4B recommendations that started in March, and also we upgraded and utilized again this fall when some of our chapters were either remote or hybrid. In April, late April, we pivoted to move virtual, or KTLW, Craft Transformational Leaders Workshop, normally an in-person officer training and leadership workshop, turning around to a VKTLW with 1,600 undergraduate registrants and more than 100 faculties members really pitching in and delivering a tremendously positive, highly rated virtual education for our officers. Come fall, it was very important that we need to focus on values-based recruitment and character-based recruitment. And that's why our team and the Mission 365 Committee spun a remote recruitment module that more than 180 chapters have participated in, thanks to the facilitation of our regional chapter support coordinators this fall. It was a task of monumental proportions getting this education out to so many brothers on such a quick pivot, but we're happy with the results that we're seeing and some of the KPIs that are coming back from our chapters really pitching in and doing the work needed to move their recruitment to an online environment. And we're continuing to work. We're working on a virtual chapter strategy pilot as we speak. If you're interested, undergraduates or chapter advisors or praters, email workshop@sigmachi.org, because we have taken the 9 hours of chapter strategy education from KTLW and moved it onto an online forum on our Canvas learning management system. And we'll also have 3 values-based decision-making courses available virtually this fall, including Drinking Smart, Healthy Relationships, and True Brotherhood. Next slide. And meanwhile, we're continuing to build to the future, because that's important too. Now that we're a state authorized leadership school, we are positioning our institution's infrastructure to become a higher ed institution so we can deliver accredited and someday, hopefully, Department of Education recognized leadership training to our members. Now, today, beginning next semester, which you'll learn about in our breakout session after, we have the ability to deliver transferable credit on an individual student basis. We're going to start working with our undergraduates to be able to complete that process. Our 9-person board and our 10-person staff are continuing to build the pathway to accreditation as we speak. Next slide, please. And what does that look like? It looks like Middle States Association, one of the oldest and most reputable accreditation councils in the United States, has already formally accepted our initial inquiry to enter and be able to apply for accreditation candidacy, which we hope to do by next month. So what does this mean for our brothers? Well, it means that we'll again continue to break ground as the only Greek letter affiliated organization to now say that our leadership training, it could be proven by the Department of Education, and that we truly are transforming what it means to be a fraternity man. We certainly know all of the social skills and environments that come as benefits with joining Sigma Chi. Now, we're truly going to be able to prove that is correct by this validation from higher education. There will be transferable credit opportunities, even more, back to our undergraduates' respective schools, and this will be a member benefit for our undergraduates at no cost to them. Over the course of the next year, we will work with all of our chapters, all of our advisors, and all of our grand officers at making sure that our members know how to sell this as the unique differentiator that surfaces Sigma Chi above everybody else in the Greek system. Next slide, please. And these are the skills, these are the competencies that we are continuing to build. We are building off of several years of research that from Gallup to Strata that is telling us that what is missing in the college experience, after the college experience, in today's workplace are the social skills. And in our certificates, our leadership certificates that we are building, you will find each of these critical skills that have been named by the World Economic Forum to be needed in tomorrow's workplace. Next slide. We will continue to utilize the Sigma Chi leadership model, broken down into self, others, action, and community. And this is how the 4-year cycle and beyond for our alumni as well will break down as we teach these critical leadership competencies for our undergraduates to utilize, not only during their undergraduate life, but also when they get out to the workplace. Next slide. Our leadership certificates will begin when you put your pledge pin on. They will start with preparation for brotherhood in foundational leadership, and we will build opportunities for undergraduates to utilize throughout their college lives. It's important to understand that when you join Sigma Chi, and we know in our ritual that Sigma Chi is a lifelong commitment. And what we needed to do was make sure that we provided leadership training for every step in a Sigma Chi's life, and we feel we have done that. Not only have we provided and are building the education for each of those phases of being a Sigma Chi, but we're also going to make sure that we're going to make it worth your while to come engage in a workshop or in an online course within Sigma Chi Leadership Institute by making it accredited and validated. Launching this upcoming spring, we'll talk about that more in the breakout, is our foundational leadership pilot and our distance leadership pilot, which we began building just before COVID hit, and now we'll have ready in the middle of a pandemic of how to lead a remote team, how to lead over distances, and how to make sure that you can create connectedness and belonging while you may be in a digital or remote experience. Next slide. So what's next? As I mentioned before, we are moving through hoping to achieve entrance into candidacy within the month. We are building a robust marketing plan with our fraternity counterparts for both internal and external stakeholders. And what we're also building is a virtual officer training certification, following the heels of, again, a very successful virtual KTLW. We are now working to annualize that officer training certification so that as soon as you're elected into an office, you have access to on-demand training and a virtual officer academy to be able to train yourself on your position. So you don't have to wait 6 months to go to in-person workshop, and you'll be able to, through Zoom and our LMS Canvas, you'll be able to achieve all of the knowledge, all of the nuts and bolts for your position, within a virtual environment. We are also, through our leadership certificates, as Teo Simmons mentioned, we're doubling down on developing diversity and inclusion education in the terms of 3 modules in our values-based decision-making and Mission 365 program. And we are prepared next semester in January and February of 2021 to launch our first 2 certificates, foundational and distance leadership. Next slide, please. Thank you. And this is how it all rolls out in terms of a calendar. January 2021, I know we're all looking forward to next year. It's going to be a big one for Sigma Chi Leadership Institute and our board and our staff. We're thankful to receive such a fun challenge from our fraternity to be able to build this pioneering vision that we have gotten to today and that we are continuing to build on. Our certificates are planned to launch early next year. Horizons will be its own leadership certificate in June, July of 2021, called the Enduring Leadership Certificate. And now we will be able to truly add more value to that 6-day immersion at Snowbird Resort in Utah. And then next KTLW 2021 will be the grand unveiling of the overarching program with our undergraduate leaders in attendance, where we will launch the authentic and values-based leadership certificates and kind of show to the world how we will begin recruiting the men of tomorrow and future transformational leaders. We will also fall in the fall of 2021 with our servant leadership and innovative leadership certificates. Brothers, we are truly excited at not only being able to expect more on a daily basis, but we are also inspired to help our Sigma Chi brothers become better versions of themselves. I've seen Sigma Chi leadership up close and personal work. I was the second ever class of Horizons to go up to the mountain, and I know how much of an impact it can have on your life. And we're just excited to bring that to the future leaders of Sigma Chi. Please join us in our breakouts after this Grand Council presentation. Thank you very much for the time today. And we are very, very lucky to be in this with all of our teammates and moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Cogdill. The future Sigma Chi is so bright because of the work that you, Chairman Michael Greenberg, and the SCLI team are doing. And it merits special mention, the work of the entire SCLI staff has been so wonderful. Thank you to all of you.